What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's Brittany here with another video to help you guys live a happy, healthy, awesome life in a wheelchair. And today we're talking about how to tell people about the icky parts of paralysis that are really uncomfortable to talk about. When you have a spinal cord injury, there are lots of things that happen to your body other than your limbs not working anymore. You lose bladder and bowel control, or at least a lot of us do. You have to manage your loss of bladder and bowel control in kind of icky ways. You have to use a catheter. In the case of your bowel, you have to do things like digital stimulation, which is essentially sticking your finger up your butt in order to poop, using suppositories, things that are, gross and that are hard to talk about with other people without feeling like you're going to lose friends or family or the respect of people, whatever it is. You feel like you're going to gross them out. And so it's hard to talk about these things to people or feel safe enough to talk about these things with people. And so I'm going to just chat about why it's important to bring these things up with people, and then some ways that you might be able to do it in a creative way. The reason that I'm doing this video is because I got an email from a subscriber that is newly injured, and she was asking whether she should bring up her body issues with her friends or if she should hide it because she's going on a trip with them. And my answer is always you should bring it up. But why should you? Why is it important? Well, let's talk about that first. And then we'll talk about some of the maybe creative ways to talk about it with them. So here are my reasons why it's so important to talk about personal care issues, bladder and bowel, the icky parts of paralysis with the people that you're going to spend time with, whether it's people that you're dating or you're friends with or your family, anybody really that you're going to be spending significant amounts of time with, why it's important. So number one, they're curious anyway. These people that have stuck around and that are still friends with you and that want to spend time with you, they're curious about it anyway. They're just probably too afraid to ask. Some people are brave enough to ask, and that's really awesome because then it kind of breaks the ice. Some people do research on their own and then kind of bring that up, and then allows you to sort of have the conversation without you having to broach it. But there's not very many people who are brave enough to do that. Most people won't do that. Most people are just too scared to ask you because they don't want to be invasive, right? So they're not going to ask, but they are curious. So just tell them because they want to know anyway. So that's reason number one. They're curious anyway. Number two, it's exhausting to hide it. I was paralyzed at 14 years old, and for my entire rest of my high school journey, I didn't ever talk about my bladder and bowel. Of course, I had to pee or cath at certain times. So I did really weird and uncomfortable things that, didn't make any sense to other people probably, to hide my bladder and bowel issues. So I don't recommend that. And it was really, really exhausting to always try and think of a reason that I had to go in my bedroom or leave for a second. Like, it was just exhausting. So hiding it is a lot of work, and I don't recommend doing that. Number three, your real friends and family, anybody that cares enough about you, they will be more comfortable once they know the intimate details of your disability. People are generally uncomfortable around things that they don't understand. And if you want people to continue to be uncomfortable around you, then you'll, keep them in the dark. But I think it's always better to help people feel more comfortable around you by just shedding light on the things that are sort of obscure or really hard to understand for them. And then once they understand them, there's just this level of comfort that develops between you. And anybody that I've ever told, I've gotten closer to immediately. So it's improved our relationship. It's made them feel more comfortable. It's made me feel more comfortable, and it's just overall been like a better thing for our relationship. So they won't care if they love you, and it'll make them feel more comfortable because you are demystifying the unknown, which allows people to kind of like be at ease. So that's number three. Number four, it's so much easier. It's so much easier when people know about the things that you have to do. How long is it going to take you in the bathroom? What time might you have to get up to go to the bathroom if you're staying with somebody? How many times are you going to have to stop to pee? If you have accidents, like, can we make a pit stop so that you can change? Or all of those things. It's just so much easier when people know. If I pee my pants really badly and I have to change, and I'm with people that have been comfortable enough to talk about these things with, then I have no problems being like, oh shit, guys, I peed my pants. Can we like pause for like 10 minutes so I can change my clothes? Or I have to go home for like half an hour and get changed. I'll be right back. And they're all okay, it's no big deal. Nobody in my life is grossed out that I pee my pants. I'm just like, oh, I peed my pants. I'm so annoyed. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, change and then we'll get on with our day. So it just is so much easier. It's easier. Way easier if people know. Way more comfortable, way easier. They're curious anyway, and they're going to love you. They're going to love you. If they do love you, they won't care. Okay, so those are the reasons why it's important to tell people about your potty issues. And now for some of the creative ways to talk about it. I'm always a big fan of just telling them. Just telling them. There's no like mystery to it. You just have to be like, you know what, guys, there's some stuff that I have to do now that's totally different and frankly kind of gross, but I just want you to know about it so that we all know and I'm more comfortable around you guys. And I don't have to, try and hide what I'm doing. That's how I would go about it. But if you aren't comfortable enough to do that, then here are some other ways that you can bring it up. Number one, you can ask them if they have any questions about your disability that they've been too afraid to ask. So you can just ask that question and be like, hey, I know that like this disability is new for me, it's new for you. Do you have any questions about my disability that maybe you've been too afraid to ask? I'm totally an open book. Ask anything. Don't be afraid to ask. I will answer it. That's a way that you could do it. And that sort of puts the ball in their court. So they're asking the uncomfortable question and then you just have to answer it. So that's one way. Number two, you could ask them if they've ever thought about how people with disabilities or people with spinal cord injuries go to the bathroom. You could just be like, have you ever thought about people that are paralyzed poop and pee? Because I definitely didn't before I was paralyzed. You could just say that exact thing. And then they can be like, I kind of was curious. Being like, this is something that I totally didn't know before I was paralyzed. Like, what do you think the answer is? Kind of thing. So that's number two. Number three, you could just like take out one of your catheters and like hand it to them and be like, do you know what this is? And then kind of create a game out of it that way. And if they're like, yeah, that's a catheter, be like, do you know what it's for? And then kind of do it that way. Again, putting the ball in their court, sort of making it a little bit of a game, a curiosity thing, and then just answering questions that come up that way. You could send them a video. I have lots of videos, which I will put in the description of this video about pooping and peeing with paralysis, about sex, and about all these other things that people might be curious about. So I will put all of that in the description below, and you can send them one of my videos or just send them a playlist of how I pee videos or whatever you want to do. I'll put all of the videos that I think are relevant to icky things after paralysis in the description, and you can send them one of those videos. If that doesn't work for you and you don't want to send like a generic video, then I'm going to make a video talking to your friends and family. It'll be, a general video. I'll just say, hey, somebody that you love wants you to know this about their new spinal cord injury. I'm going to tell you some stuff that your friend, family member, or loved one would like you to know about their new life with a spinal cord injury that they are just a little bit too uncomfortable to talk about at the moment. And I'm going to put a link for that in the description below where you can download that video. I might actually do an unlisted YouTube video. So I'll put a link to that video. You can send that to them and it will be directed to them as if I am your friend and I am making the video for you to tell them. Every way that you're going to broach the subject is probably going to feel really scary and uncomfortable. And on the other side of that discomfort, I promise you, is freedom. It is so much freedom once you lose the fear and embarrassment around the things that you have to do, because it's not your fault. It is not your fault that you pee or poop your pants. It's not your fault that you got paralyzed, depending on what it is that you did. But once you get past the shame, there's so much freedom on the other side of it. And it's glorious. So yeah, that's my advice. I hope it was helpful. I just sort of rambled for a lot of this video, but this was on my mind and I wanted to do it before, I put it off like I've been doing all of 2024. And 2025 is going to be different. So I made this video as soon as it was on my mind. I wrote some notes and then I did it. So I hope it helped. If you have any questions about this specific topic, you can put them in the description or the comments and I will answer them. You can also email me. Always feel free to email me. And I promise I will answer your email. And yeah, I hope that you find the confidence to go out and just be honest with your friends, because friends, family, loved ones, whatever it is, because yeah, like I said, there's so much freedom on the other side of that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you back here on another video. Have fun telling your friends and family. Bye.